psychotherapist and author, emphasizes that sustaining love and passion in long-term relationships requires intentional effort and a balance between connection and autonomy. She suggests that couples should cultivate curiosity about each other, engage in novel experiences together, and maintain individual identities to keep the relationship dynamic and passionate. Pirrell also highlights the importance of scheduling intimate moments to ensure they remain a priority amidst daily routines. She advocates for creating anticipation and infusing rituals into these moments to enhance intimacy. For a deeper understanding of her insights, you might find her TED Talk, The Secret to Desire in a Long-Term Relationship, particularly enlightening. Esther Perel, a Belgian psychotherapist and world-renowned expert on relationships and intimacy, has captivated audiences worldwide with her insightful approach to love, desire, and connection. Her books, Mating in Captivity and The State of Affairs, as well as her TED Talks and podcasts Where Should We Begin, have placed her at the forefront of discussions on how to navigate the complexities of modern love. One of her most notable contributions to the conversation about lasting relationships is her exploration of how couples can sustain passion, intimacy, and connection over time. Her insights are particularly valuable because they challenge the conventional ideas about what makes a relationship successful, especially when it comes to maintaining sexual desire and emotional connection over many years. In this exploration, we will delve into the core aspects of Esther Perel's perspective on lasting love and passion, including her thoughts on the role of mystery, autonomy, vulnerability, and communication in keeping relationships alive. The paradox of love and desire. Esther Perel often refers to a paradox in relationships, the tension between the need for stability and security, which is inherent in long-term relationships, and the need for novelty and excitement, which fuels passion and desire. In her view, these two forces, the desire for safety and the desire for excitement, are not mutually exclusive, but they do require careful balancing. On one hand, relationships are built on trust, familiarity, and predictability. People need to feel secure and supported by their partners, and stability provides a foundation for growth, comfort, and long-term emotional connection. On the other hand, in order to keep the spark of passion alive, partners must be able to maintain a sense of curiosity, mystery, and unpredictability. It is this contrast between the known and the unknown, between closeness and distance, that can sustain desire in long-term relationships. In her book, Mating in Captivity, Perel argues that passion thrives in an environment of tension. She suggests that when couples become too enmeshed or too comfortable with one another, they risk losing the very energy that fuels desire. She uses the example of the best friends dynamic, where the partners become more like roommates or companions than lovers. When this happens, desire can fade because the emotional distance that is necessary for longing and attraction disappears. The key to keeping passion alive, Perel argues, is to cultivate a sense of eroticism in the relationship. Erotic desire, in her terms, is not just about sex, it's about maintaining a certain mystique, an element of surprise and intrigue, and a sense of individuality. It's about keeping the fire of desire burning by not losing sight of the things that make each partner unique. She encourages couples to avoid the trap of thinking they know everything about each other, as this often leads to complacency. Instead, they should strive to stay curious about one another's inner worlds, desires, and experiences. The importance of autonomy. Another crucial element that Perel discusses in her work is the importance of autonomy in a relationship. This may seem counterintuitive, as many people believe that intimacy and connection require complete emotional and physical unity. However, Perel contends that maintaining a degree of separateness is essential for sustaining desire and passion. She believes that when people lose their individual identities in a relationship, it can create an unhealthy dynamic where one or both partners feel stifled or suffocated. This can lead to a sense of resentment or dissatisfaction, which in turn diminishes intimacy. To counteract this, Perel suggests that couples should give each other the space to maintain their own lives outside of the relationship. This can involve pursuing individual hobbies, friendships, and careers, or simply taking time apart to recharge. Autonomy doesn't mean emotional distance or disengagement, but rather the freedom to exist as separate individuals within a shared partnership. It allows partners to come together from a place of independence rather than dependency. This sense of autonomy can actually deepen the connection between partners, as it prevents the relationship from becoming a source of emotional enmeshment or stasis. By nurturing their own passions, interests, and sense of self, individuals bring more energy and excitement to the relationship. They are able to offer their partners the gift of their full selves, rather than the diminished version that might emerge from constantly seeking validation or merging with the other person. The role of mystery and desire. Perel's emphasis on mystery is a key component of her philosophy on love and desire. She believes that desire is fueled by the unknown and that too much familiarity can erode the spark between partners. In her view, when partners share everything about themselves, their thoughts, their feelings, their preferences, it can lead to a kind of intimacy that, while valuable, diminishes the erotic tension that is necessary for desire to thrive. One of the ways in which she suggests couples preserve mystery is by allowing space for each partner to have their own experiences and not feeling compelled to share every detail. This doesn't mean withholding important information or creating emotional distance, but rather respecting the individual's need for privacy and the ability to maintain some personal boundaries. This creates a sense of allure and curiosity which can reignite passion and desire. Pearl often uses the metaphor of the third space to describe the idea of maintaining a bit of distance and intrigue in a relationship. This space, which exists between partners, can be a source of excitement and tension. It's the space where partners can see each other as separate, unique individuals with their own needs, desires, and fantasies. This perspective shifts the focus away from the idea of complete unity and instead highlights the importance of the individual within the relationship. This approach can also apply to sexual intimacy. Pearl notes that one of the most common reasons desire fades in long-term relationships is that sex becomes routine or predictable. To keep the spark alive, she recommends that couples explore new ways of being intimate with one another, whether that means trying new activities together, experimenting in the bedroom, or simply setting aside time to reconnect physically. Communication and vulnerability. For Pearl, communication is another critical factor in maintaining lasting love and passion. However, she stresses that communication is not just about talking or discussing issues openly. It's about being vulnerable and expressing one's deepest desires, fears, and needs with a sense of openness and courage. Vulnerability, according to Pearl, is the cornerstone of intimacy. Without it, true connection cannot be established. She encourages couples to create an environment where they can be vulnerable with each other without fear of judgment or rejection. This includes being able to discuss difficult topics, express one's emotions, and share desires and fantasies. Often, people feel embarrassed or afraid to communicate their sexual needs, but Pearl believes that opening up about these aspects of the relationship can lead to deeper intimacy and more fulfilling connections. Moreover, vulnerability allows for emotional closeness, which is essential for long-term relationships. When people feel safe enough to share their innermost thoughts and feelings, it strengthens the emotional bond between them. This emotional intimacy, in turn, supports the physical and sexual aspects of the relationship, creating a cycle of connection that can last for years. The importance of novelty. Another key element in maintaining passion and love is the pursuit of novelty. Pearl suggests that couples should strive to create new experiences together in order to keep their relationship fresh and exciting. This doesn't mean engaging in extreme activities or constantly seeking thrills, but rather finding ways to bring newness into everyday life. Novelty can take many forms, such as trying new hobbies, traveling together, or simply stepping out of the usual routine. Even small changes like trying a new restaurant or taking a different route to work can help break the monotony and create a sense of novelty that reunites the connection between partners. When couples experience new things together, they strengthen their bond and create shared memories. These experiences create a sense of excitement and adventure that can sustain passion and desire. Pearl encourages couples to keep looking for ways to experience life together, as this fosters a sense of closeness and connection that is vital for long-term love. Intimacy rituals. Pearl also highlights the importance of rituals in sustaining intimacy and passion. Rituals can be as simple as saying "I love you" before leaving for work or making time for a weekly date night. These small acts of attention and affection help reinforce the bond between partners and create a sense of stability and consistency within the relationship. Rituals also allow couples to prioritize their connection, even in the midst of busy lives. In her work, Pearl stresses the need to make intimacy a priority, even if it means scheduling it into the calendar. While this may sound unromantic to some, she believes that making time for each other is essential for keeping the relationship strong. Creating rituals around sex, affection, or emotional connection helps maintain the relationship's erotic energy. By making these moments sacred and intentional, couples can infuse their connection with meaning and significance, which ultimately fuels desire and intimacy. Conclusion. Esther Perel's insights into lasting love and passion offer a refreshing perspective on relationships. She emphasizes the importance of balancing connection with autonomy, maintaining mystery and novelty, and cultivating vulnerability and communication. By adopting these principles, couples can create relationships that not only endure but thrive. Her work encourages us to rethink traditional notions of love and desire and to approach our partnerships with a mindset of curiosity, creativity, and intentionality. In a world where many relationships face challenges of monotony, stress, and emotional disconnection, Esther Perel's wisdom serves as a valuable guide for couples seeking to keep their love alive and passionate for the long haul. Her philosophy suggests that love and passion are not static or passive, but require ongoing effort, exploration, and mutual respect. By embracing these principles, couples can experience the fullness of connection, desire, and intimacy, creating relationships that are both deeply fulfilling and enduring. Building upon the ideas already discussed, it's important to delve deeper into Esther Perel's core philosophies around intimacy and how we can sustain these aspects of a relationship over time. Her approach is deeply rooted in the idea that love is not a one-size-fits-all experience. Rather, it requires constant effort, adaptation, and growth. Her views on sustaining passion, maintaining connection, and navigating the challenges that long-term relationships inevitably face have inspired countless individuals to rethink their approach to love and intimacy. The impact of modern society on relationships. In her work, Perel frequently addresses the ways in which modern society impacts the dynamics of relationships. As cultural expectations shift, the demands placed on couples also evolve. Perel argues that many of the challenges that contemporary couples face, particularly around intimacy and desire, are a product of societal changes, particularly the influence of technology and changing gender roles. Technology has transformed the way we communicate, connect, and even experience intimacy. While it has brought people closer in some ways, it has also introduced new challenges. Social media, texting, and constant connectivity can sometimes create unrealistic expectations or create emotional distance in relationships. Perel has discussed the role of technology in both helping and hindering intimacy, recognizing that while technology offers new ways to connect, it can also distract us from the present moment with our partners, interfering with the intimacy and connection that need to be nurtured in person. Additionally, modern gender roles and expectations have added complexity to romantic relationships. In the past, relationships often relied on more traditional roles, where one partner, typically the man, was responsible for providing for the family, while the other, typically the woman, took care of the home. These roles, though not perfect, allowed for clarity in terms of division of labor and contributed to a sense of stability. However, as gender roles have become more fluid and both partners often share responsibilities in a more balanced way, the dynamics of intimacy and passion have shifted. Perel recognizes this shift and addresses how modern couples must redefine their roles within the context of evolving gender norms and expectations. While equality and shared responsibilities can strengthen the foundation of a relationship, these shifts can also cause confusion or strain on the emotional and sexual aspects of relationships. This is because it often requires an intentional effort to balance the need for emotional support, equality, and physical desire, especially as both partners navigate their individual aspirations and identities. Perel suggests that couples today must rethink what it means to be in love and in partnership. Rather than falling into traditional patterns, couples are encouraged to embrace fluidity, creativity, and experimentation in their relationships. The concept of role fluidity in modern partnerships means that couples must find new ways to meet each other's emotional and physical needs while negotiating their changing identities and expectations. The role of parenthood and family life. Another important aspect of Perel's work revolves around the challenges that come with parenthood. While becoming parents can deepen a couple's connection and bond, it can also create strain and distance in a relationship, particularly when it comes to maintaining sexual intimacy. Many couples experience a drop in desire after having children, as the demands of parenting and caring for a family take priority. Perel discusses the concept of parenting fatigue, which refers to the exhaustion and emotional drain that comes with raising children. She emphasizes that when one or both partners are overwhelmed with parenting responsibilities, they may struggle to find time and energy for each other. This can lead to a sense of disconnect, and passion often fades as couples get consumed with the day-to-day demands of their families. In her work, Perel suggests that couples need to intentionally carve out time to reconnect as partners, rather than simply as co-parents. She advises that couples don't lose sight of their sexual and emotional needs while raising children. This might mean scheduling date nights or engaging in rituals of affection, even if they seem small or insignificant. The act of making time for one another helps preserve the emotional and physical connection that is so vital for sustaining desire. Moreover, Perel emphasizes the importance of maintaining a sense of individuality even when parents. Couples must remember that while parenting is a shared responsibility, they are still individuals with their own desires, needs, and identities. By nurturing their own sense of self and autonomy, both partners can bring energy and passion into their relationship. She also encourages parents to view their relationship not as secondary to the family, but as the foundation that supports the entire structure. Just as families need stable ground to thrive, romantic relationships require intentional care and attention to thrive in the midst of family life. Perel believes that by keeping the romantic and sexual aspect of the relationship alive, parents not only benefit as individuals, but they also offer their children a model of healthy, loving relationships. The myths of monogamy. Esther Perel is also known for her nuanced views on monogamy, which she sees as both a modern ideal and a complex emotional and cultural construct. Perel has openly discussed the pressures placed on monogamy, particularly the unrealistic expectations that often accompany it. In her view, monogamy, while it can be a fulfilling and positive choice for many people, can also be a source of pressure in long-term relationships. One of the myths she challenges is the notion that monogamy should satisfy all of our emotional, sexual, and intellectual needs. In her experience, many people enter monogamous relationships with the expectation that one partner will fulfill every need, which can create unrealistic and unfair demands. Perel argues that this belief often leads to dissatisfaction or frustration when couples inevitably face the reality that no single person can meet all of their partner's needs. This can erode passion, as couples feel as though their desires and interests are being stifled or unmet. Instead of demanding perfection from one's partner, Perel encourages individuals to acknowledge the complexity of relationships and to be realistic about the fact that people's desires and needs can evolve over time. She believes that by allowing space for these shifts, couples can remain connected and keep their relationships alive. Moreover, Perel believes that the concept of monogamy should be re-examined to reflect a more flexible and adaptable model. Rather than viewing monogamy as a rigid, one-size-fits-all arrangement, couples should feel empowered to create their own version of monogamy that is compatible with their individual desires and aspirations. This may mean renegotiating certain aspects of the relationship, setting new boundaries, or even discussing the potential for consensual non-monogamy. While Perel recognizes that traditional monogamy works for many couples, she advocates for an open dialogue about sexual and emotional needs, encouraging partners to approach their commitments with curiosity and a willingness to renegotiate the terms of their relationship over time. Erotic intelligence, cultivating desire. Perel's concept of erotic intelligence is central to her philosophy on lasting love and passion. Erotic intelligence refers to an individual's ability to understand, cultivate, and sustain desire in their life, whether in the context of their romantic relationship or in their own personal experiences. In her view, erotic intelligence is not something we are born with, but something that can be nurtured, learned, and developed. Perel encourages couples to explore their erotic intelligence by reconnecting with their bodies, desires, and fantasies. This exploration can involve revisiting sexual boundaries, experimenting with new forms of touch and intimacy, or simply communicating more openly about sexual needs and preferences. Erotic intelligence is also about understanding the interplay between desire and intimacy and how sexual connection can enhance emotional closeness, and vice versa. Furthermore, Perel emphasizes the importance of playfulness and experimentation within the erotic realm. Couples should feel empowered to try new things, explore new fantasies, and discover new ways to experience pleasure together. Erotic intelligence is about tapping into a playful, creative, and open mindset that allows partners to connect on a deeper level. In conclusion, a lifelong journey of exploration and connection. Esther Perel's insights into lasting love and passion reveal that successful relationships are not static. They require continuous exploration, growth, and mutual respect. She challenges conventional ideas about intimacy and offers couples a fresh perspective on how to cultivate passion, desire, and connection over time. From maintaining autonomy and mystery to embracing vulnerability and erotic intelligence, Perel's teachings offer invaluable guidance for navigating the complexities of modern relationships. What is clear in her work is that love, intimacy, and passion are not passive experiences. They require conscious effort, creativity, and curiosity. Couples who are willing to engage in this ongoing journey of exploration, who make intentional space for novelty and excitement, and who remain open to change will be the ones who can sustain love and passion for a lifetime. By embracing these principles, couples can transform their relationships into dynamic, fulfilling partnerships that continue to evolve and thrive regardless of the challenges they may face. Esther Perel's wisdom shows that lasting love and passion are not impossible ideals, but achievable goals that require ongoing effort and a deep commitment to each other's happiness and fulfillment. Esther Perel reveals that the secret to lasting love and passion lies in the balance between connection and autonomy. In her view, maintaining a fulfilling romantic relationship requires both intimacy and space. While deep emotional closeness is essential, so is the freedom for individuals to continue growing and evolving. Perel emphasizes the importance of cultivating desire through novelty, curiosity, and mystery, suggesting that when partners continue to surprise each other, the relationship stays vibrant. She also highlights the necessity of communication, vulnerability, and trust, which together foster a resilient connection. Ultimately, lasting love involves navigating the delicate tension between stability and change, ensuring both partners feel secure and alive in the relationship. Esther Perel also explores the idea that love and passion are not mutually exclusive, but rather interdependent. She believes that many couples experience a decline in passion over time because they focus too much on comfort and routine, inadvertently stifling the excitement and spontaneity that first brought them together. To reignite passion, Perel advises partners to reconnect with their individual identities and desires, which can help bring fresh energy into the relationship. She also stresses the importance of eroticism, not just as physical intimacy, but as a deeper sense of connection that transcends routine or obligation. According to Perel, the key to sustaining a passionate partnership is to continue nurturing both emotional and physical intimacy while respecting each other's need for independence and personal growth. Another aspect Perel highlights is the role of conflict in relationships. She suggests that disagreements can be opportunities for growth and understanding, rather than threats to the relationship. When approached with empathy and openness, conflicts allow couples to explore their needs, values, and boundaries. Perel argues that the ability to navigate challenges with mutual respect and a willingness to evolve together strengthens the bond and deepens the passion. By embracing both the harmony and the tension in a relationship, couples can create a more resilient and passionate connection that stands the test of time.